Good morning. Today is December 5th and the temperature right now is about 45 degrees here in Zone 7. I am in Northern Virginia. I want to show you guys what is growing in my garden even though we have been getting frost for over a month now. So when I started gardening here, I thought that you would only do summer vegetables and that's the only thing that you can grow, but I have found out in the years afterwards that you can do plenty of crops during the cold winter season, and sometimes it's even better to grow these type of vegetables in this type of weather. So what I like to grow is a lot of greens. A lot of Chinese greens do well. So I grow a lot of mustards, onions, and Tai Soi, and a few other things. Now this garden beds I set up actually in early October, so I didn't have enough time to put them in before it got too cold. So what you can do is plant your seeds starting in September, and your plants will get big enough and mature enough to where they just hold the pattern during the winter months, and they just kind of stay dormant, but they don't die. So you can have a little savings of greens and vegetables for the winter. So let me show you guys what I have growing on, and next year I'll show you when to plant so that you can have greens throughout the winter. So I want to start by showing you this chives here. These are Chinese chives, and they are perennial to Zone 7 where I live. And typically they die off by this time, and the ones that are exposed in the garden have already died. But this is close to my house and in a pot, so they are continuing to grow, and I enjoy that. Chinese chives are just like your regular chives. They're just flat. They're not hollow in the middle like the chives that we see here typically, but they are really tasty. So this pot will come back next year, and it will continue to grow for this season. So this is the bed that I actually want to show you. This is a tray that I got starter plants from, and I am growing some little cilantro in here. This cilantro was planted, but it didn't sprout on time, so it did sprout afterwards, and it's kind of stunted, so that's why it's a little small, but you can see that it's growing and it needs no protection. Right next to them I have a raised bed, and this one I put in just at the beginning of October, I believe, and I have planted here some Egyptian walking onions. So you can see the Egyptian walking onion down here, and it's growing a green shoot. Now you can harvest the green shoot, eat it, and the plant will come back next year from the bulb. So it is a perennial green onion that you can use the entire year. You can either eat the bulb or the green part, and look, I have a ton of it here, so I won't be running out of green onions this winter. Now I'm trying this rosemary here this year. I have been able to perennialize some of my rosemaries, meaning they come back every year. This one, it's a transplant from this year, so I'm not sure if it's gonna make it or not. But what I am sure that's gonna make it is this right here. This is Russian red kale, and this thing is tough. This will go through the winter, and and it won't stop growing. It actually keeps growing through the winter, and you can see baby leaves here. So what it does is when it's super cold, it doesn't grow, but if we have a spell of warm weather during the winter, it will start growing again. So this morning I harvested some of the leaves here so I can have it with my breakfast. And back there you see some butterleaf lettuce that likes the cold, and this is winter rape, which is a Chinese green, and then I have some regular chives right here, and these guys are very tough as well, and they will make it through the winter. Now I also have this type of green onion. It's called the Evergreen green onion, and this thing is perennial to zone 7, so it will regrow every year, and it splits. So I planted one bulb here, and you can see that it has 4 stems, and it will come back every year. This is evergreen onion. I also have a little patch of oregano, which is still green. Nice little herb to use in your foods during the winter time, and gives you that wonderful oregano smell. I also have this oddity here. This is not a vegetable, but this is a snapdragon, I believe that's what it's called, and I didn't realize it, but it is frost tolerant. We've had several frosts here, and it's continued to grow, so I'll be growing this plant even more. You can see it here. It's flowering right now, and it's December 5th. Now this is the one that I'm most proud about. This is winter rape seed, and I use it as a green. In China they grow it for the seeds, and they make rapeseed oil out of it, but I am just growing it for the greens here. And you can see how prolific it is. Look underneath here, these leaves are massive, and if you planted enough of these, you would have enough greens for the entire winter. I am pretty happy with the success I'm having with this today, and check it out. I have 6 or 7 plants that are just humongous. The other thing that you can grow is chard, and this is green chard or white chard. I can't remember the type it is, but it does really well during the cold months. It's getting a little shade from these collars, or I'm sorry, this winter rape, but it will make it. This is Missy. She likes gardening too. So the best plant to grow during the winter is Tai Soi. It grows very low to the ground, and it does not get bothered by snow or ice. This thing is a tank. It will just go through the winter and have no issues. Look how beautiful it is. It tastes like a hearty spinach, a little more fibrous than spinach, but if you blanch it for a little bit and then saute it, it tastes very good. Now I want to give you guys an update. I planted this bed over here, and it was radishes, and it was late in the season, and I really wanted to get the seeds in, and I didn't know if it was going to grow or not. But some of the radishes did sprout, and they are actually producing right now. And it is, like I said, December 5th, and check it out. I do have radishes growing. So this is a radish, and it's just growing, and it should not. So these are radishes, and they are growing. You can see them growing right here. And I should have harvested these already, but you know, I think it's pretty cool having some food in the ground when it's supposed to be winter. And check it out here. This is a daikon radish, and it is growing right underneath. There's a little daikon radish patch, and it'll be ready come spring. The last thing that you can grow is mustard greens, and this mustard greens I planted from starters that I had in my other garden, and they are doing well. They had aphids on them, so they kind of were stunted a little bit, but I think they're gonna start regrowing again and have no issues. The other thing that I have growing is red leaf lettuce and some green leaf lettuce, and I should probably harvest some of these. They're not going to do much growing, and they might not make it through December, so I will probably pick them and eat them. The last thing that you can grow through the winter in Zone 7 is leeks. These leeks were transplanted here from my other garden, but if you plant leeks from seed in the spring, they'll be about this big come December. And you can eat leeks just like you eat green onions, and I use a ton of onions in my cooking, so I make sure I have a lot of those. Alrighty, those are the types of vegetables that you can grow here in Zone 7 during the winter without much protection and without having to go buy any row covers or have a greenhouse. You can grow directly in the ground and have vegetables through the whole winter. So let me know in the comments below what you're growing this winter or what you're planning to plant this winter, and let me know if you enjoy this video, and make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out and encourages me to keep making these videos. Have a great day and see you guys later.